I would just love to know a little bit about your background in, the performing arts, youth work, and psychotherapy. How did these experiences shape your interest in discussing topics like death so openly?
Well, I'd love to say I'd had one big event that had got me to where I am, but I started out, I worked in a high school boarding house when I was going through doing my bachelor's degree. And as with many high school boarding houses in Perth, there's a lot of farming families.
Mhm.
So agriculture, it has a very high injury and death rate. So we had to deal with a lot of that. At the same time, I was also working in a domestic violence shelter. So obviously there's quite a bit of death associated with that. So those things started also around the time my grandmother was probably it was around in her 90s. So there was an aging process that was seeing all those sort of things. As we went on, I went in to do psychotherapy. That's my job. That's my title.
Yeah.
So I went through there. We did grief counselling. I spent a bit of time working in hospice and doing grief therapy there. So and then COVID came along, and we saw a lot of death and a lot of people not being able to handle it. It was a scary time, but people were questioning why the medical community didn't know everything. I think that's an important part, that we don't know everything. We can't fix everything, and that was a real wake up call for a lot of people. So that was my journey. It was all a lot of small events, a lot of small experiences that leaded up to a whole of, we really don't have a great understanding in our country of what death is and that it's natural.
Yeah.